You just look to see if anyone comes on and you let them in. I'll make a couple of announcements first. I'll come and look just to make sure. Okay. Okay, announcements, please. Let's go. We can start. Today's Lunch and Learn is sponsored by Rabbi Jonathan Rosenblatt and Sephora. Rabbi Jonathan and Sephora Rosenblatt, in memory of Rabbi Rosenblatt's father, Dr. David H. Rosenblatt, David Tzvi Ben Arab Shmuel Aryeh. It's also sponsored by Honey and myself. Also in memory of my father, Naftali Ben Tzvi, Harry Aaron, whose yurtzeit, his 55th yurtzeit is coming up next Friday. Thank you to Dr. Rabbi Shiur Zell for giving the shiur today. And we can start.
Can everybody hear me? I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. I wish you a good Chodesh Tov. What I'd like to do today is to take a look at a prayer which is very common, but speaks to us particularly in the month of Tammuz and in the month of Av. 2.5 weeks' time, we'll be commemorating Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. 5 misfortunes befalling our people. The tablets were smashed. The Korban Tami, the daily sacrifice, was done away with. The outer walls of Jerusalem were breached by the Romans. A Torah was burned, and not the last time, unfortunately. And an idol was placed in the courtyard of the Holy Temple. There are many things unique about us as a people, other than the fact that we probably have had more injustices coming our way than most others, or maybe even any others. But what's unique about us is the way we react or respond to injustices. We have been to rallies, in particular ever since October 7th, and not once, unless I'm going to the wrong rallies, not once have I heard any hatred spewed against those who are doing inhumane things to our innocent brothers and sisters. Theologically, how do we explain this? What do we walk away with traditionally? I'm not speaking 20th century, 21st century. What has been our modus vivendi? How have we reacted up until and including the shtetl when any calamity befell us? How did we understand it? This is what makes us unique. We never pointed a finger at the enemy. We always were introspective and said, we must have done something wrong to bring this calamity upon ourselves. Whether you agree or disagree, I'm telling you what has been for generations. every day, 365 days a solar year, 354 days a lunar year, unless there's a leap year. Doesn't matter which service, each and every Shemona Esrei, without exception, concludes after we recite the bracha, Habareches Hamo Yisrael b'Shalom, blesses his people Israel in peace. We have that one page, God guard our tongue from speaking evil. Nitzor Lishoni Meira. You're familiar with the prayer? I'm not telling you something that you're hearing for the first time. What I want to do is look at the very conclusion, because it's totally, in a way, opposite that which precedes us in the prayer. And the conclusion is, one, we turn to God, act for your name's sake. We implore God to act for your name's sake. Two, we implore God to act for your right hand's sake. Number three, act for your sanctity's sake. Number four, act for your Torah's sake. Aseh leman shemecha, aseh leman yeminecha, aseh leman kedushatecha, aseh leman Toratecha. What is this all about? We're saying it daily. Today we'll have said it because there's a Musaf, we'll have said it 4 times. What are we saying? Better yet, if we start with the Tzor Lishoni Mira, guard my tongue from evil, why don't we conclude with Baruch Atah Hanotzer Lishonot Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you who guards the tongues of his people Israel. That would make sense. You start off with guard by tongue, you conclude with guard by tongue. But that's not what the text says. The text implores God, whereas the entire prayer up until this was, I may have done this, I may have spoken this, what have you. And now I ask God, fulfill my request. Why? For 4 reasons. For your name's sake, for your right hand's sake, for the sake of your Torah, for the sake of your holiness. How do we make sense out of this? Is this a decent question? Thank you. First of all, what does it mean? Do it for the sake of your name. On what basis are we making this request? What does God's name have to do with this? So we find in Yirmiyahu HaNavi, the prophet Jeremiah, where a statement is made to the prophet that these prophets, the other prophets, not my prophets, the false prophets, they speak falsehood in my name. I did not send them, I did not command them, I did not speak to them, they have no authority. Their vision is a false vision, their divination is worthless, it's emptiness, they're full of deception, etc. So don't invoke my name like the way the prophets, the same way as these prophets have done. Now, there are plenty of lunatics in this world, including those who take jumbo jets and before they're crashed into the World Trade Center, they will invoke God's name. We're doing it for the sake of God. God is great. Allah is great. This time we're not saying what we're doing in God's name. We're asking God with regard to his name. Number two, when we speak about God's right, what does that mean? Yeminecha? What does it mean, God's right? The right hand of God. What is this based on? We find in Eicha, Book of Lamentations, that God was so angry at us. What did he do? In his anger, he cut down in burning anger all the dignity of Israel. He drew back his right hand. He said, I'm putting my hand behind my back. You enemy, go for it, because I am not going to intervene. I'm not part of it. Do what you want to do. Number three, do it for the sake of your Torah. What does this mean? From the prophet Yirmiyahu, God is saying, they did not listen to me. Who is they? My people. They did not incline their ear. Each person went after the vision of his own evil heart. Everyone did what she wanted to do. So I brought upon them all the words of the covenant that I had commanded them, but they did not fulfill the covenant. They said, we'll speak about Torah another time. Today's not the day for Torah. We rejected the Torah. God said, I'm not using my right hand. God's name was besmirched. And the fourth one, for God's holiness, from the prophet Ezekiel, Yecheskel. The house of Israel has contaminated my holiness with their acts. They have filthied up, taken a pure land and have made it impure. I have no holiness amongst them. We have biblical support, but what are we talking about still? What is this all about? What was Moses' greatest feat as a leader? Think about it. Moses was able to hit a home run. He did it more than once. And every time he did it, he hit a home run. What was he able to do? How? You're right. How? Say again? I'm not, you're right, but we're going to have to be more specific. Moses was able to persuade God not to carry out what God was aiming to do because of his anger. God said, I have had it up to here. I will destroy the people and start again with you. God said the same thing to Noah. Noah said, you got to do what you got to do. But Moses didn't say that. Moses handled it differently. What did Moses say? Before, that's part of it, but that's not the real argument. For a man who had difficulty of speech, who was kvad peh and kvad lashon, he said, my speech ain't great. My tongue doesn't find the proper words. He did all right for himself. What did he say? He said, God, you want to destroy them? Fine. But your reputation is going to tank. Because every other nation has heard what you did, and all eyes are upon you. You destroy the children of Israel here and now in this wilderness. The next day, the headlines of every major newspaper, they're going to do a better job than CNN. That was Canaan News Network back then. Just thought of that. The headlines are going to be that the God of Israel takes his people out of Egyptian slavery to destroy them in the wilderness. Is that what you want? If that's what you want, go ahead. And Moses was brilliant. Moses didn't say don't destroy them because they don't know what they're doing. Moses didn't say have pity on them. Look at where they came from. Look what they endured rather. He didn't use any of those arguments. He didn't say, well, what do you expect from them? Hundreds of years of enslavement? Doesn't say that. He said, it's your reputation that's on the line. Think it over. And God thinks it over, thought it over, and what does God say? Moishelah, when you're right, you're right. Gotta hand it to you. Moses was a master at this. We, throughout history, were able to pick up the same type of argument that Moshe Rabbeinu used throughout the ages. When we turn to God after calamities befell us, we never pointed at the enemy. In addition to pointing at ourselves, we turned to God and said, we may not be worthy of being saved. We may have brought this upon ourselves. We may have sinned. We may have desecrated. We may have done this, done that, whatever it is. I'll hate, and then some. But I'll tell you something. We implore you to be there for us, not because we merit it. Because if you don't, your name is worthless, your right hand is down the toilet, your Torah is 86th, your holiness is besmirched. Because what does the enemy do according to this argument? Tell you a story. Many years ago, this is you know what a manufacturer's agent is? I don't even know if they have them anymore. We used to call it a traveling salesman, a manufacturer's agent. Jewish manufacturer's agent is out on the road with the samples, calling in on this store, that store, the small towns. He's got a room in one of the hotels. They all had rooms in a hotel where they set up their wares. So if locals wanted to see what he had to offer and place orders, they'd make an appointment. So he asked one of the handymen at that, where the hotel was in his room, could you help me bring this stuff out to the car? It was on a Sunday, it was in September, and it was raining pretty heavily. He helped him out and he said, rain's coming down pretty hard, isn't it? Yes. Tell me, what are the Jewish holidays this year? Was there any connection between those two statements? I can see this is a new generation. The outside world looked at us for rejecting the little baby from Bethlehem who later on grew up, supposedly the little baby from Bethlehem. And they said, our God is punishing us for rejecting, for refusing to accept, for refusing to be redeemed. Not only that, but they could point to these sources that I just pointed to. We're not saying your God abandoned you. Your God, your own God said he's abandoning you. In Sefer Dvarim, Hester astirat panai, I will hide my face. I'm not going to be around to help you. Don't bother calling on me. Don't run to me. Not going to be there for you. So what do we say with this prayer? Help me out if I'm not deserving. Do it for your sake. You have a name to maintain. You have a force, a strength to uphold. Your Torah has to stand for, this is your gift. You gave it to the world, we didn't. And are you going to stand by and let them besmirch your holiness? Don't do it for us. Do it for yourself. Shivas Arbatamuz, Tisha B'Av. We pick up the pieces. This is no longer an argument or discussion. Did we deserve this or didn't we deserve this? Fine, it happened. What are we going to do now? We've got to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, start all over again, but we have to turn to God and say, hang in there for us. And if we're not deserving, then do it for your sake. I'll give you 4 good reasons. What's the irony of this prayer? It starts with guard my tongue from speaking evil. Guard my tongue from evil. What's the irony? If you factor in these 4 requests, what's the irony? The irony is, I'm not speaking evil. The outside world, the non-Jews are speaking evil. They're speaking out against you. They're saying all these things, that you're impotent, that you're powerless, that you yourself will stand by and do nothing. Is that what you really want? In the Shulchan Orach Chaim 122 speaks about, zeroes in these 4 requests. And the following statement is made. Anyone who makes it a habit to make the following 4 requests in the daily prayer will merit to experience the face of the Shekhinah. Them's pretty harsh words in a positive sense. What's being spoken about? Why is this? We don't have this with other words. And implied, intended, is the entire aspect of saying we recognize, we don't always show you that we do, but we recognize all the merits that you possess. We don't want your reputation sullied, even if we do it many times, unfortunately. Because Lama Yomru HaGoyim. This is the Hallel that we didn't say today or tomorrow, because it's not Hallel Shalem, it's only partial Hallel. What will the other nations say? And I do not want them to say all these nasty things about you. And I truly believe that you don't want them to say all these nasty things about you. Win one for us. Win one for yourself. Because there's plenty tongues that are wagging out there. There was a time where they knew the sources. Nowadays they don't. But there were times where they knew the sources pretty well. And they would justify all the hatred that they heaped on us by saying, we have foundation for this. We have background, we have support. May we observe the 17th of Tammuz. May we commemorate Tisha B'Av. But God willing, next year, a year from now, may we be in a position that Shiva Asar B'Tammuz will have a totally different meaning, with no negativity. And Tisha B'Av will be a day that was once mourning that we will turn into celebration. Thank you for your attendance, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. We need it. We need it. We need it now. That's the Bible.
I know that our friends use the JPSs and put some, if you like the JPS.
Oh, JPS, yes.
They're very Thank you.
Thank you for attending. Have a wonderful Shabbos and a good month for everybody. Amen, amen, amen.
Good news.
The source of us. Amen, 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 amen.
Sean, thank you so much. Thank you for spending with us today.